Immigration is a hot topic and a complicated topic these days. One of the reasons is that because immigration, the goal of immigration, is that you want people from all places and backgrounds and religions and creeds to be able to come to a place and assume the same values as the place that they're coming to. If someone wants to better their lives by becoming a part of Western civilization, you hope and expect that they too want to become a part of Western civilization. They can share those dreams and aspirations that Western civilization helps facilitate. But there's concern in some places, particularly Europe, the United States, other Western countries as well, that there are people that want to come, they want to immigrate, but they don't necessarily want to take on the Western values and ideas, dreams, aspirations that society is founded upon. And that's raising concern in a lot of places. Check out this clip over here. It's a news report from Sky News where they're saying that in Australia, there are a lot of people that want there to be stricter immigration policies and the reasons why. But let's watch this together. But before we watch it, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Well, here in Britain, much like in Australia, we're seeing the rise of Muslim political movements. 4 MPs were elected to Parliament last year, essentially as Gaza candidates. And as Nigel Farage told me last night, he expects that number to grow in the next general election, only fueling sectarian political movements. Sadly, this trend is merely a reflection of the growing reality in Britain, with a reluctance of some Muslims to integrate into Western values and a rise of radical Islamists that's only been exacerbated by the October 7 atrocities. Joining me now, 2 political analysts visiting London from the UAE, Amjad Taha and Obaid Ahmed Al-Zabi. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank
You're both at ARC, so delighted that you are in London at ARC and really engaging in this debate. Ahmed, why is it, I've listened to some of the comments you've made, why is it that you believe there are more radical Islamists in a place like Britain than there is in your own country?
The question is, why is it that when a Muslim lives in Dubai, he's more liberal, but when a Muslim lives in London, is more extremist? Why is it that you have the fact that if an Orthodox Jew, after the 7th of October, still wanted to walk in the street of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, anywhere in the UAE after the 7th of October, he actually identified himself as a Jew and wears his kippah or Orthodox identity. Yet he cannot do that in various areas in Birmingham, for example, in Small Heath, in Sparkbrook, in various areas in UK. This should be questioned. It's not a matter of freedom of speech. It's the fact that people in Britain have reached a moment where they cannot express their perspective, their opinion at any stage, at any point, in the name of the fact that they censor them under the umbrella of Islamophobia. But that terminology has been used to prevent any person speaking about the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood are the armed forces. The armed forces of Muslim Brotherhood is Hamas. And we saw what Hamas carried in terms of terrorism and so on. So yes, if all the way in Gaza, the humanity still has some hostages there, all the way in London, you have various generation, a new generation who are hostages of that propaganda, of Hamas propaganda, the Muslim Brotherhood's propaganda. It's quite dangerous. It's and devastating, and it's quite a dark time. I mean, to the point when you speak to a British person at this stage, at this point, they always look at yesterday and they don't tell you about tomorrow. They're scared of tomorrow. When they want to look into the light, they look at yesterday, not today. And this is Britain, where Britain's message was always tomorrow.
Yes. Obaid, President Trump said that the region needs to take more people out of Gaza. But, we notice around the world that most of the region do not want Gazan refugees. Why is that?
Well, if you want to understand Trump's plan for the Middle East, you have to look at it as a real estate plan. You have to understand that he's an expert in that field, and he understands that what needs to happen is a lot of reconstruction development, and it is different groups in the Middle East that don't have an interest to go forward with that plan, and they're simply blocking it. But I think with his approach, he's going to put more pressure on different groups, and there will be a resolution, and there will be a plan to redevelop the region. I don't think he's said at any point that he will remove them permanently.
No.
But just to create an opportunity for them to go and a space for people to come in and redevelop the area.
I don't think also anybody of us is against the fact that creating a better condition for the Gazan people. We all stand with the right of people. The freedom of movement, the freedom of speech should be always everywhere available. Other than Gazan people. If the Gazan people want to stay, they have all the freedom to stay. And if they want to travel outside for a period of time, they can do so. That was the case for the Syrian. That was the case for the Lebanese. Lebanese people, when they had to travel and then come back when their country was built. And it's the same case for the Syrian. 8 million Syrians, they left the country because there was a genocide happening there.
Yes.
So leaving can be for a reason. And then coming back, it's also coming back to rebuild.
I asked a question because in Australia we've taken 3,000 people from Gaza with very little security checks. Your point that there are more radical Islamists in Britain stands true for Australia. Should we be concerned about not security checking these people?
No, the security check is very essential and important because they come from an area is quite radicalized. You're either under the jihad, Islamic jihad, which is a proxy of Iran in Gaza, or you're under Hamas. Both of them are anti-Semite, anti-Jew, anti-Christian, anti-all.
Yes.
And they being quite radicalized at the early age.
So you think it's a mistake for Australia to do that?
Absolutely. When you look at the educational curriculum in Gaza and the West Bank, it teaches you hate and killing the others. These people, when they come to your country, they're a tool away from carrying the crime against any of your children or any of your people or any of your markets. So it's quite dangerous to not do any security check. All countries, Arab countries, they do security check on everybody. All the Muslim countries, they do security check. And that's your right if you care about the future generation of yours. But the fact that you just bring anybody into your home, it shouldn't be. I mean, would you allow a stranger to come into your house, sit with your babies? No. It's the right of yours to protect your children and not to bring any criminal, anybody into your home. It doesn't mean you're against the humanity. In fact, it means you're protecting humanity when you do the security check.
Just a quick point, because I know you've been to Australia and you saw, we were talking in the break, you saw what happened on the steps of the Opera House just within 24 hours of October 7. What was your reaction to those pro-Palestinian mobs?
It was shameful. And one thing I can say, that's a praise of civilization. Some of them, they escape all the way from the Middle East, in various areas in the Middle East, where the Islamists were prosecuting their country. Australia provide them with the right to live in Australian citizenship. And in response, you celebrate the new Holocaust, new form of Holocaust. The 7th of October was a test to humanity. And the 7th of October, just like the Holocaust, people denied it, people celebrated it, and there were some people who participated in it. 7th of October happens, there were some people in the Opera House, all the way in Australia, instead of caring about people and the country and the future, they were celebrating Hamas murdering babies, kidnapping an 8-month-old baby. There is no cause can justify kidnapping baby Cafe.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for the honesty and for coming here today.
This is obviously true and obviously sensible to anyone who has sense in their mind. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.